Hello, everybody. Welcome to next series of Efficiency Now podcast. Don't be silent, be lean. And today my guest is Andrej Morocz, OPEX and Lean Manager in Plastivaloire. Andrej, welcome.
Hello, Ivan. Thank you for the invitation. Looking forward for this talk.
Quite interesting. Let's start from your beginning. Maybe a little bit explain operational excellence. Maybe as well explain lean. What does it mean? And if you can a little bit introduce as well your company. What are you doing? Where is it based? What's your responsibility? Just let's get started about your current position and your current role.
So basically, I am working in a French supplier for mainly automotive business. The company is called Plastivaloire. It's a French company. Sometimes we call it in a short like PVL. As I said, we are mainly an tier one OEM supplier for automotive. And the headquarters is in France, but we have I think 28 locations all over the world. We have two in US, two in Mexico, mainly in France, but then it's like Spain, Portugal, Tunisia, Turkey, UK, Poland, Slovakia, Romania. So we are where our customers are, basically. And my position at the moment, we are launching, or we launched what we call a PVL excellence system, which is kind of a TPS, which will be our own way of how we want to operate. And I'm responsible of deployment of PVL excellence system in 14 plants. So my scope is basically all the plants out of France.
I guess you have some colleagues that are French speaking, so probably they
Yeah. But
can.
even my English, people are asking me if I'm French. So it's the French accent I get from them all over those years I'm with them. Because in fact, I started. I think it will be 19 years this year. So it's my first job after I finished my studies, and I never left since.
That's unbelievable. 19 years, one company. I
Yeah.
need to say that my longest was 6 years in one company, but several positions, but 19 years, so unbelievable. Tell me, I'm coming to the next question about the motivation. What motivates you that you are still staying 19 years in one company?
Mainly, it's the way the company was evolving during those years, and even my position. So there were like always new and new challenges, new and new projects. The plant I've been working at since beginning, it's the plant in Nitra in Slovakia, where I'm based. So this plant was growing. My responsibilities were growing. So there was always some new target ahead, and there was like a feeling there is still some job not finished. So I cannot leave them like this. So and it feels like I started yesterday, but it's really it will be 19 years.
Unbelievable. Just tell me. You mentioned the TPS, that your system is based on TPS. Maybe not everybody is fully understanding what does it mean. Can you a little bit explain what does it mean TPS?
Yeah, so basically TPS, it's a Toyota production system. So it's the way of work in Toyota. So there are, some people they somehow maybe confuse lean and the TPS. So I think there is a lot of similarities, but I don't think it's the same. But it's basically the culture, the philosophy, and the DNA of Toyota.
How would you like to do have some exposure, I mean, to the system itself? Yeah, because the TPS in our lean world and as well the continuous improvement world is like the mantra. Yeah, the Toyota
Yeah.
started all of this. And so what is your exposure? Have you been in touch previously with some Toyota guys, or have you had some training directly from them or some cooperation?
Yeah, so in fact, I had like a unique opportunity to be trained directly by Toyota for 7 years. I think it was in 2011, and Toyota, they have like Toyota Europe. They have a supplier association which they call the Toyota team, which stands for Toyota Europe Association of Manufacturers. And they basically select, I think at that time it was 70 core suppliers of Toyota in Europe. They split them to 10 core groups. There were at that time 3 in UK, 3 in Turkey, and 4 in the rest of Europe. And basically they put these suppliers in this group, and in this group there was always like suppliers which were not the competitors. And how it was working, we were basically every month visiting one of the plants from the core group, where we were working on some specific topic, like a kind of a workshop. So there was always like a part of the training for some of the TPS tools, and then there was a workshop directly at the shop floor. And like 2-3 times per year, we were able to go to Toyota plant directly. So I visited their plant in UK. I visited their plant in France. They have I think it's a transmission plant in Poland. So it was really a unique experience. Also, what was interesting was to visit all the other plants of suppliers, which were really like a different, still an automotive, still supplier of Toyota, but different technologies. Like in our core group, we had I think Panasonic from Czech Republic. They were producing a car radio. There was SUS from Romania for wire harness. There was Takata in Romania for a steering wheel, which was leather wrapped. So it was really interesting for me to be able to see all these different suppliers. It was great to have Toyota always with us to train us. I
That's
was
probably
I
my question next to that, yeah, because this is quite unique and I love it because, I remember 20 years ago when, based on this, I was asked to start the supplier excellence program. That time I was working in tier one, and it started very well because it started really, to support the other, sub suppliers. Where it failed was when our top management started to say, hey, based on this support, we want to get the money. And all this project, finished because the suppliers say, okay, you started as the support and you started as to show us, the way how to work, how to improve. And now after some period of time, you are asking the money out of this. Yes? And that was the end. And this idea was killed. But I know that Toyota, they really did it differently.
no in fact, in their philosophy, they understand, but by improving their suppliers, they will improve their operations as well. So they choose the core suppliers, and I was lucky to spend 7 years in this association, which really it taught me a lot about the lean. But I used to have an experience from a consulting company, because my let's say my first touch of the lean was with the consulting company. And sometimes this is like a too much theory, and having this experience directly from Toyota, having to see those, it's really a DNA of the guys over there, the DPS. So really an awesome experience for me, which taught me a lot.
I can guarantee. You mentioned what is your approach to now implement your the production system. You mentioned 13 plants. Do you have
Yeah.
already the idea how much time will it take? What will be your approach? Because this is unbelievable, work to implement the system across so many plants. Do you have it like the pilot and then you will continue, or you would like to start everything at once? Or what is your approach, or what's the approach from?
The approach is basically that we selected a person in every plant, which is like the pilot of the excellence system at the plant. and we are training those people to be able to deploy the tools which we created, and we are still building the bricks of our house of excellence. So anyway, it's not an activity for weeks or months, it's an activity for years. So we are just starting, the people are motivated, we already see some results. I'm really happy for this.
Congratulations. Can you see, probably because you mentioned different countries, can you see that in some of the country, because of the mentality, because of the mindset, it's more difficult, and in some of the country it's much easier? Or we cannot say, it's distinguished by the country, or it's distinguished by the size of the plant. So can you already, since after the short period of time, can you see the differences, or it's too early to say?
I would not judge it based on the location, but for sure, every country we have some specifics, and every people in the country has a different mentality and different personalities. But I think it's about the people you are working with, and the way how they are motivated, the way how they want to achieve something. That's the basics. So I would not try to generalize it anyway. There are like I said, every country has some specifics, so there are different kind of troubles here and there. But anyways, it's still about the people. If there is somebody who is blocked against changes, which is kind of a normal human behavior, we humans, we like to resist to changes, and we people are tend to fight against any changes because it's just getting them out of the comfort zone. So then if you are able to motivate that people and to sell them the idea of what you are trying to achieve, and you just pull them on your side, then it doesn't matter in which country you are.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, my experience, where it was really tough, but you are lucky you don't have it. It was very unionized countries. Yeah. So for me, all the implementations were really difficult in Belgium, in France, and you mentioned France, or Germany, where there was one extra effect, and it was really the unions. And whatever we agreed as a part of the management needed to go through tough negotiations with the union. Yeah? So for me, that's why I was a bit asking. And my experience opposite was that, for example, where I improved quite easily was Turkey. I could see that I have several plants in Turkey and Spain. So these two countries, I would say the southern Spain, Portugal, or Turkey, these were quite not easy, I would say, because there is always the change always is the pain always. Yeah. But compared to some other countries, these three countries were much easier, at least for me, from my experience.
Yeah. I can confirm we have a plant in Turkey, and the training I did there went really well. I think there was plenty of people on the training. Really, everybody's super involved. So I had to agree with you that Turkey is fine.
Yeah. That's cool. Let's move a little bit, the topics like more, the lean we mentioned, but more like digitalization, artificial intelligence, which means AI, big data, automation. How do you see it? Do you see that these things are really arising on the horizon? I mean, in the automotive, or you don't see such big progress, or how do you see that?
Yeah, but AI now, it's a buzzword. So everybody speaking about it. I am using, I think like everybody, the ChatGPT, and discovering what it can do. It is really cool tool for some things. It's really bad tool for some others. I try to put inside some mathematic task of my kids. No success. It just give you an answer which is not true, and so It's a language model, so it's a great thing for creating a text. It's a great thing for coding. So I use it a lot to make some productivity on my Excel macros or Excel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in also in industry, there's plenty of application of AI. I'm just thinking of an examples. We can use an AI for a quality control. We can use an AI. I saw a lot of application of AI for the safety in the warehouses. So I think it's a future, but we will really see how to use it in an efficient way. Because just to use AI because it's fancy now, I'm not sure that's the way.
How about the big data? Do you see that the plants are working? I don't mean just yours, but generally in the industry, they are really working with big data. They are working with enough data, because we say if you want to improve something, first you need to monitor and collect data.
Yeah.
So how do you see it from your perspective?
So I think I have maybe an interesting perspective on this one because you are absolutely right. To be able to improve something, we need to have the data. We need to work with data. The question always is the reliability of the data. And more data we collect, more trash we are putting in our databases. And on one side, I'm a big fan of an automatic data collection, so people are not collecting the data by hand, so they can do some more productive things. On the other hand, the problem is if the data is just collected automatically and just stored on some server and nobody is looking on them, we are losing then basically the meaning of the data. Because if you have to collect the data by hand, and that's why we still, even in production, we still use some boards. You have to display or like to write the data by yourself, like by your hand. And when somebody write down the data, we are sure the person is aware of the data. When the data are collected and even displayed somewhere, we are not sure that people even look on them. So we need to have some balance. For sure, we should try to automatize the data, but as I said, big data, sometimes they are too big and nobody can analyze them. But here, it's the job of the AI, which can maybe help with analyzing of that big data. But again, the question is how clever the AI is, because the AI will always give you an answer. That's the problem of AI. It will never tell you I don't know. So
Yeah,
you
you
will
need
have
to.
an answer. You never
Yeah,
know
that's
if it's
true.
okay.
That's true. Yeah, what I like, and one of the point, collect by hand or automatic. Yeah, and I like the discussion or that you put it both, because I had experience quite passionate discussion on both sides. Yeah? And one is why this is the ways to collect the data manually, and I installed the boards as well. And one of it, when I said, why I wanted to have it like this, is the awareness, and it's really the ownership of data. And that was for me the only point where I still see, if you write that you produce 22 parts good and two bad within 1 hour, you should guarantee that it's correct. But when it's downloaded automatically, then you are a little bit losing the ownership. On the other side, I think when we are going more to the future, is either collected automatically. We need to guarantee that the people will look at the data. I always said, if you don't want to analyze, if you don't look for some big variations or nonsense, it's like collecting nothing, because you drive. And I always was driving the conclusion based on the data that I had. And if the data were not correct, I made better decisions. And this is where I see it's a little bit tricky, because with data automatic collection, everybody thinks that the data are collected well. And you write the conclusion and decision, and then you did it incorrect. So for me, one of the points which is very crucial is to make sure whatever you automized, you need to be 100% correct that it's correct, because otherwise it's a big mess, and you are creating even bigger mess than if you don't have it.
Yeah, I fully agree with this one. Really, it's crucial to be able to rely on the data. And sometimes, you need to collect the data by yourself to really trust them.
Yeah, I have one of the proverb is, I just trust the data that I collected. No one else. I think this is what one of my colleagues told me, and I love it, because on one side it's true.